Hey everyone, we're on. It's Friday. It's not an 8 o'clock at night thing. We're doing Friday lunchtime just to shake it up a bit. So happy midday. It's gorgeous. The weather's shining. It's sunny. I'll find my tribe that are on here. Where are my folks? So we get back to this screen, and we're back on this screen. So it's a gorgeous day, and you'll see it's not just me today. Look at this. We're tripling up. Sometimes we double up. Today we're tripling up. So hey Beth, hey John. They're not doing it through the medium of mime. They've just muted themselves. At some point they won't be doing this. They will actually be speaking. So it's great to see you. So are you sabotaging your success is the question today. Now look, it was probably like 9 months ago where I set up the BTFI group, and I had a bit of a rant on here. You can still check out the Facebook Live, all about the personal development industry. So I've been on a program recently. I won't say who it is. You can go and watch the live to check out who it was I went to see, and was shocked, appalled, disgusted actually at the tactics that were used to get people on board to buy, and then the hard selling tactics that were used. And also that the 3 days was full of a massive more knowledge, more skills, more thinking. Now I chatted with a load of the people that were in the room with me, and what became really clear was that although people were kind of burning their money and giving their money away to buy more programs and more workshops, actually the reality was they weren't going to take action. They were stuck in their heads. And there are a lot of people, I see a lot of people day to day, not just in the group, not just on programs, but that are stuck up here and in their own way. So having been on this workshop, having set up the group, this spurred me and fueled the fire in my belly to do something, because this has gone a long time. We have to collapse some of the terrible behavior that sits within the personal development world of selling and then not actually delivering what it is that people need. So I set up BTFI, I set up this tribe, and in the last 9 months, we've heard from a whole ton of thought leaders who have shared insights, knowledge, experience. We've built this community that is about support, is a real tribal piece for people to share. We've heard from the likes of Simon Bourne. Check out the Simon Bourne Facebook Live. He's an entrepreneur that makes the most incredible shoes with all of his love and all of his heart and all of his talent, but has talked about the real dark side of being an entrepreneur, the dark side of being a business owner. So it's full of a ton of stuff, fun, joy, and tackling the tough stuff of running a business. So we're going to post the link to the group right now in the comments. So if you're not a member already of the BTFI tribe, then get yourselves over. It's a really neat, groovy gang of people that are doing good stuff and shaking themselves up. So look, here's what I see. I see a load of CEOs, and this is in corporate world, not just in smaller business world, in some of the big corporates, and entrepreneurs that spend a lot of time being stuck and very much in their own way. And what they're doing, the trap they're falling into, is putting their energy into fixing the stuff outside of themselves. So there's a failure to truly do the inner work, to work on themselves, to work on the core of their business. They're looking outside for their success. So like many of us, right, I'm in there too about, as a business, how do I grow a business? How do I ensure that it makes money? How do I ensure that I keep finding clients and build a pipeline? But when this becomes our pure driver, so we're so driven by revenue, we're so driven by building a client base, we just hunt for more and more knowledge. Of course, what has to happen if we get that knowledge, we have to bring it inside of us, do the inner work so that we actually can use the knowledge, so that we can actually take action. So why are they not getting the results they want from this? Why, oh why? Okay, so there's a whole load of things. There's people suffering from a lack of self-worth, a lack of confidence, a lack of belief in themselves. Their inner story is limiting, and they end up getting stuck with that. So that allows almost fears to take hold. This ivy grows over them, and they get truly stuck with it. They procrastinate. So they get a lot of time, they spend a lot of time not taking the action. They know they need to do these things. They're working from shoulds. There's a big should. They hear it on the courses. These are the things you should do, but they're not doing it because of the self-worth issues, the lack of confidence. And then of course, the more they procrastinate, knowing that they've spent £1,000 on programs, £10,000 on programs, they then have this guilt pang and feel bad for not taking action. So what do? Go and buy another course to manage their own guilt. So they're in this cycle. Limiting beliefs, out of date mindset, stuck. Being an entrepreneur and being an entrepreneur in this world that is moving incredibly fast requires us to keep updating our thinking, keep updating our insights, keep updating the narrative, but they're very much stuck in the narrative. They're in a space where often there's a lack of support. So setting up businesses and smaller businesses, people are taking on a ton of roles. You know this, right? Many of you will know this. Not only do you need to be CEO and MD, you also need to be chief financial officer and head of HR and head of sales and head of ops. You have all these roles, and it can be a massively lonely place. So I hear from them about how much they feel as though they lack that tribe around them, the people that have got their backs, the people that will catch it on the shit days, because there are shit days, right? And then of course, there are a load of them that run these sabotage patterns where they want the success, but they get stuck running these habits and these patterns that sabotage them, chop their legs off. Many of them actually have some insight that they do it. And of course, they keep doing it because they're stuck in this cycle. And sometimes that pain actually becomes safe for us. I worked with a client yesterday and we talked about this whole idea of often it's better the shit you know than the shit you don't know. We don't know that by doing something what it's going to bring us. And often today what we're experiencing might also be a bit shit and crappy. So we stick with it, we stay with it, we keep doing it, and we keep running the same sabotage pattern. So I built the BTFI group to manage some of this stuff, to create that support network, create that tribe of people where actually people can rock up and be honest, people can share their own stuff, people can talk about having a shit day. A group where there are cheerleaders, where we can kind of really high five and metaphorically high five people when they do well. So that's that space to share safely. We wanted people to stay inspired. How do we keep people on the tough days and on the good days, staying inspired, staying up, shifting their thinking, spinning their vision, but also continuing to be challenged? So a space where people's asses are kicked. And there is from tough love, always from tough love, but that place exists to keep people on track. In January of this year, we released a free program called Excuses Blowout, which again was we're going to how do we manage it? How do we help people literally explode some of these excuses that they're living by and get out of their own way and move on? So we released a free program. It's like a half-an-hour video series that was around how to develop emotional commitment to your goals. So we know that for a lot of people, they set goals, but the real love place for doing it, the real energy, the heart centered, the wanting it enough, not just because it's a should, is lacking. So we built it to help with that. We built it to help them understand where their confidence comes from. Where do they get their own confidence from? There's an extrinsic piece, but actually when we build it intrinsically, when we build it inside, so it's back to the inner work, that's when people have more and more breakthroughs. And we also wanted to create something where we could offer hypnotherapy as a vehicle for people to start to do that deeper inner work. We have access to so much in our conscious mind, yet 80 to 90% of all of those habits and those patterns and the intricacies of our system sit unconsciously. And we wanted to create this vehicle for people to be able to access that and start to do the real deep inner work. So the feedback from this was people had breakthroughs, they moved forward, they got stuff done, they had realization and they had insights, they were feeling stronger, but there was a big but with it. There were still people having regular wobble moments. They kind of get themselves up, but they'd wobble again. They'd get themselves up, back up a little bit, and they'd have a bit more wobble, and they'd have another wobble. So the wobbles were still appearing. They weren't creating the time and building the time in to really get this in the muscle. And I mean in the muscle is to build it in as a habit. So The research tells us something between 60 and 135 days to build in a habit. And that requires that discipline. And until we get it in the muscle, until it's there, that almost that unconscious competence, what's dominant often is the old story, the out-of-date habits, the out-of-date narrative that people are running. So that was another reason why. And they weren't turning that new version of themselves into that almost that daily rigor, almost that daily practice. So what is it that you do in the morning that sets yourself up for success? And how do you kind of tie that off in the evening, take the learning, get the insight in order to go again the next day and ramp it up? So there was benefit, there was breakthroughs, but there was still this bit of going, but this head scratch piece. How do we help people truly put this development for themselves in place that they own and responsible for? So what we heard when we talked to the people that had gone through it, because we wanted to know, so is it working? Is it delivering what it needs to? And what else? Was that there were a lot of people stuck with really dirty thoughts. Now, I don't mean porn. I don't mean the sun, not those kind of dirty thoughts. I mean poor mind hygiene. For those of you that have watched any of my recent Facebook Lives, you'll know I talk a lot about the importance of good mind hygiene, the practice around mind hygiene. We're brilliant at teaching our kids to look after the system, after the vessel, to wash their hands, brush their teeth, floss their teeth, but we're not good at teaching them mind hygiene. And for a lot of people, this is still the stuff that is tripping them up. They feel lost. They are in massive overwhelm in running their business. And that feeling of actually being stuck, kind of chasing their tail every day. They get on the hamster wheel, they run really fast, they do a load of work and a load of activity, but it's still failing to take them forward. And until this mind piece truly cleans up, it's really hard to be free. But of course, what they're still going out and seeking is more and more knowledge and more insight. So what I know is I work with a lot of people one-to-one, either as a coach within a therapy setting, so cognitive behavioral hypnotherapy, and there are only so many hours in the day to really be able to work with people in the room, to work with them one-to-one, face-to-face. So we decided that we needed to build something that was bigger and better than we'd already offered and managed this missing piece that we just kind of couldn't quite get to grips with. So we built Limitless, and we've been testing Limitless over the last 6 months. We wanted to build something that was, we really wanted to get it right. We wanted it to be rigorous. We wanted to know that it was, not just know that it was working, but know that all that was in it was actually really great for people, rich in content, and rich in helping people just budge themselves forward. So hence the two gorgeously attractive people that are on here with me that are on mute, so they're still doing mine, but in a moment they're going to take mute off and we're going to hear from them. They've been going through Limitless for the last 6 months, testing it out, weekly calls to go, this works, this doesn't work, you need to do this differently, I don't get this bit, I love this bit. And what I believe we have today is a program that does what it says, that delivers, and actually I believe delivers more. And what I feel is that we've captured all of those missing elements that before have been a bit of a head scratch. We've kind of got it. So they're gonna tell you, actually, there's no point in me telling you what they've got from it. We're going to hear from them. They're going to highlight some of the stuff that they have got from the program. Now, we'll hear from Beth first, and Beth, I'm sure, will tell you some of her outcomes and some of the things she wanted, and certainly some of the things she got. But in the period of the program so far, where she's up to, she has tripled her income goal, which is massive, right? So she set out with a goal and she's tripled it in, we're talking like 6 months. So as you don't hear any more from me, Beth, come on, turn your mute off. There you are in all your glory. Hey, 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 good to see you.
Good to be here.
So, so tell me a bit about, tell me what Limitless has provided you with in your life that before Limitless, days before Limitless, if you can ever imagine that, was missing.
So the big thing, and those that have known me probably have heard me say this for probably a number of years, but actually certainly for the last 2 years since I've been running my own business, which was about clarity. I absolutely was searching for clarity for next steps for my business. I knew that I wanted to add more value, you know, this sort of add value thing, but I actually didn't know what that meant. And I'd hit that point where I'd been running the business for, it'll be 2 years in September, and I just felt that I was coasting. And I'm not a coasting person. You know, I'm normally in a situation where I know what I need to do to change, and I do it. And I was just coasting and didn't know, I was stuck. I didn't know where to, you know, what next steps were really.
So what's the most important part of the Limitless experience that you think is valuable to share with the people that are watching today?
The first thing I would say, it was really interesting because when you asked me to do this, I had to actually go back and check my notes of where I was at that time before, because you make such a shift at a subconscious level as well. It's actually hard to know where you were. So I think the most important thing was the structure that it gave me to get me unstuck. So I know that maybe doesn't sound very tangible, but because there's so much happening on a subconscious level, I think I learned really quickly, and it's probably something that you said, just do the work, you know, think less, do more, and just get on and then follow the structure, take action. And the support that we had from the community was, you know, really, really valuable as well. Because for me, accountability, that whole accountability piece is really, really key, really key.
It's a massive bit, isn't it? It's a bit that's often overlooked. And that's some of my pain and sadness in seeing people buying, you know, £10,000 programs that they get, again, a ton of knowledge, but that real accountability piece that says, have you done what you said you were going to do? And if not, why? Is still missing, and we have to have that bit if we're really relentlessly pursuing something.
Yeah, definitely. And I think particularly for me, when I'm working in a small business, and though I'm interacting with people all the time, they're not people that hold me accountable, you know, so I had to find a resource to enable me to do that. But more importantly, it's just having that structure to get unstuck. And it continues to be there. I know that if I get stuck, I can go back to it. I don't have to do that head scratch. And that alone is pretty empowering, just to know that there's something that works to get you to the next stage.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? Whether that's dipping back into content or whether actually that's making the most of the tribe there to support you. It becomes that 24/7 access to go, if I need something, I can ask for it.
Yeah, and it's not about worksheets. You know, you've got the hypnotherapy as well. It's stuff that's absolutely happening on a deeper level, and you don't probably appreciate that's happening until you have that breakthrough, until you go, oh my goodness, I knew that I would get clarity by doing this, but then it comes, you know, it's having faith that it works. Do the work. It's not all about filling worksheets out. And so the biggest thing I made sure I didn't do was overthink it too much. You know, you can spend ages procrastinating over a worksheet, can't you? But and I probably have done that in the past. So it was absolutely just getting on and doing it. Just follow the instructions and do it.
Okay, so tell us, what have you got from the program? What are the results that you have now in your life from going through Limitless?
They keep coming, I think, is the key thing. But genuinely, I think Limitless has taught me a way of making the most of opportunities. And what I mean by that is it's almost like the foundations of something has been done, so that when you do something new, you get even more out of it. And that sounds maybe a difficult concept. So for example, I went on a workshop on the weekend, but I knew before that workshop started, because I'd done the work, because I've gone through this experience, that I would be able to get so much more out of that. And so I just think it's any future learning, never mind the learning that you've done in the past, just gets unlocked quicker. I think your outcomes are magnified. And, you know, I think, as you'd already mentioned, I'd set myself a sort of a private goal around my income targets. And yeah, I achieved that shift much quicker than I imagined. And that was important to me, because, you know, it's about making obviously things sustainable. So I had to, you know, I had to have some practical things in there as well.
Okay. Anything else?
The big thing. So if I went into a room now and I didn't know you, so the first thing I'd be telling you is I'm Bethan Bishop, and my business is Alessio, and I'm a coach and I'm a consultant. And the essence of that is that I work with, I work with businesses and organisations to help them get where they're going, but smarter through the power of collaboration. And in practical terms, that means that I do some business mentoring right through to strategy development. And I've got a fantastic framework, and that's called Collaborate to Change. And I'm starting to write a book about it. So I didn't have that. Yeah. So as daft as that sounds, you know, I'm a business person. I've run my own business for 2 years. I've got, 25 years worth of experience behind me. I just didn't have that way of describing what I do. And it's taken my experience in Limitless to be able to unlock a very simple story.
Simple. And I know that whenever we get that in our life, the release and the path that it then enables us to kind of go and carve out is extraordinary, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just that unlocking piece in our head and our heart that goes, oh, okay, now I get it. It all makes sense. And alignment. We talk a lot in the program about alignment, and that alignment piece for you feels as though it's just.
Yeah, I now have a coherent, some people call it a red thread, some people call it a golden thread, don't they? That thing that runs through so many aspects of your life, and that thread that when you look backwards, it makes sense. And I knew that was all there. I absolutely knew it was there. I just needed it to be unlocked. And it gives you so much clarity when that happens.
Awesome. Thank you very much. John, let's hear a bit from John. Hey, John.
Hello, Richard. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. You look, everyone that's watching, notice that we didn't pre-plan the whole "it must be done in front of a bookshelf" thing. We didn't plan that. That is the power of connection.
I feel bad though, because mine aren't color coordinated.
Not color coordinated, but the next time I come round to your house, we're going to be tidying them up for you.
That's why I didn't do it.
The thing is, it looks bloody marvelous. You never find a book.
You see, mine's organized into fiction, non-fiction, self-help, languages. Everything's there, so it doesn't look as good, but it's practical.
I've started to get this color coding thing in my head now. So when I think, I want to get X book, I know what color the spine is. It's just extra stuff I have to remember. But it looks, look at that. That's gorgeous. If you want to buy one of these, buy one. So John, look, you've done loads of things during Limitless as a result of Limitless. I know that you, the biggest piece I kind of see in you is that you've got this massive clarity over your purpose in terms of why the hell are you on this planet, and reshaped much of your business, actually probably 360 spin around on your business. You fired clients that were a pain in the backside, a drain on your energy. But that clarity piece for you feels like it's now crystal clear. So it would be great to hear from you. What has Limitless given you that was pre-Limitless days missing from your existence and your life?
Okay, well, there's a couple of things. It's strangely not just given me something, it's helped me to get rid of stuff that you just mentioned. So I started a business, freelance, film, photo, and then from doing the course, I realized that I've basically built a business that I set up to give me freedom, and it had completely trapped me. I was beholden to a couple of clients. I was working when I should be out, so I'm missing birthdays, I'm not seeing my friends, I'm not seeing my family. I'm just grinding away and getting work done and trying to get money in, and then that's not freedom. So doing the course, it gave me the ability to sort of step back and step away and to start really thinking about why I started it, what I want to do, where I want to be in a couple of months, years, whatever. And it gave me this confidence to just get rid of those clients that were vampires. Basically, they were draining me. They weren't serving me any purpose. And actually, I only had them because of fear. I felt that if I didn't have them, I wouldn't have any money. And this course just gave me that confidence and the ability to just step away. And in doing that, actually, nothing's changed. I haven't lost any money. I'm making more money, and I'm much happier. And in fact, I'm working much less than I was before, which was my target. I didn't have these targets to become a millionaire. Actually, I wanted to just get my life back and still do the things that I enjoyed. And it also, being freelance is quite a lonely old place. And there's no one to bounce ideas off. And I'm responsible for every decision. And I have to get myself up in the morning and I have to get to work and I've got to make every decision that happens. And just having that tribe, having the group to bounce ideas off, sharing the good news and sharing the bad news. And it sounds bad, but also hearing that other people are going through the same lows, having those sort of failures and wobbles that you talk about, as well as like relishing in other people's success. It just lets you know there's other people out there doing exactly the same as you, going through the same stuff, and just having that sort of friendship all the way through and support is a game changer.
I reckon there will be so many people, John, that are watching this going, yep, I know that whole kind of scattergun approach to business where we think let's do some of everything in order just to bring some money in, get some clients. And it can become quite random without the purpose piece, without the emotional commitment, playing from shoulds, the fear piece. At some point, if you're running your own business, I believe that everyone experiences that. Some just are living in it and it's normalized. Some dip in and out of it. But I think that ability to break free from it, and as you say, release and let go of stuff, and then get back to purpose, back to source, back to your why, then it starts to, as Bethan talked about, that it begins to align and we start to get a different clarity and different focus. Yeah. So out of what bits of your limitless experience would you most like to share with the people that are watching this? What do you think is most valuable?
Well, I started the course because I wanted to just sort of feel it out and be your sort of tester. And I think we all went through the same process, that as we started to dig into it, we were no longer testing your course, but we were in it and experiencing it. And it changed my daily routine for good, forever. And these tiny changes that it made me do changed everything about my life and about my business. And in fact, the very act of getting up in the morning and doing a module, just taking half an hour or an hour, where I would normally get up and jump on the computer and have to deal with 100 emails and phone calls and hassle, just having that hour in the morning where I just sat down and did a module, got some focus, had to really think about what I wanted from my day, from my business. It changed how I woke up in the morning. And I get up and I do yoga and I eat well and I go for a walk, and I realize I run my own business. I don't have to be at my desk at 9 o'clock in the morning. No one's going to die. If I want to go to work at 11 o'clock, I'll go to work at 11 o'clock. If it's a nice day, I'll go and sit in the park. And it changed my entire mental hygiene, that word that you use so eloquently. And just by doing that, made my days more efficient. So I was doing exactly the same amount of work in half the time. And I could have then done double the work, or I can just finish for the day and go back outside. And just having that and having my life back it's definitely down to Limitless. But one of the things that changed so much was the meditation, the hypnotherapy sections. When I started those, as I told you, I really struggled. I couldn't do it. I couldn't switch off. I couldn't sit quietly for 20 minutes or half an hour. I couldn't visualize. I couldn't do any of the things that you were asking us to do in those hypnotherapy pieces. And I just thought, it's not for me. I'll just, let's forget it. That's not my bag. And then I continued and I pursued, and I realized that the fact that I couldn't do those hypnotherapy sessions was a problem. It's not that it's not for me. There's something I'm not opening up. And it just clicked one day, and I got it. And those 30-minute sessions are a complete day changer, complete game changer. And actually the stuff I learned from those hypnotherapy sessions helped me find that purpose and helped me get rid of a lot of stuff in my life I didn't need. I decluttered my head, I decluttered my workspace, I decluttered my clients, and I just did only the stuff that I wanted to do that was on brand, on purpose. It just gave me a fantastic structure. And it also, you mentioned the wobbles earlier that people go through. And I think I always have wobbles because I've got so many sort of things, I've got lots of ideas. I want to do 10 different things every day and start little projects and businesses, and then they all end up going nowhere. But the course helped me to sort of structure them but it helped me to deal with the wobbles rather than being ashamed of them or trying to avoid having those wobbles. It helped me prepare for them. And if I did have a wobble, I can deal with it. There's either the tribe I can go and talk to, or I'm in such a good headspace that they just sort of bounce off me. And that is invaluable.
It feels like you've told us a ton of results you got from the program. What would be, if you were to put it in one sentence, the kind of the big ticket item that you've got from it, what would you say?
Clarity.
Okay.
Completely. And purpose. Just knowing it got me back to where I was when I started the business. That I started it about 5 years ago and got completely lost. And in fact, I was running a business to keep other people happy. And I'd through the course, I'd managed to unpick all of these points in my life where I'd made a decision that went against my drive, my purpose. It took me off my path. And there's another video you do, that 1 degree of change. So imagine a 1 degree of change 5 years ago has taken me so far away from where I wanted to be. And this course just helped me just unpick it, get back on the right path, find that structure, and then start building up those daily habits so that it just becomes my way of life. It's effortless now to just, I don't even need to think about whether I should make a decision, whether I should do this project, whether I should take that client. There's no thought. I just know, because I'm so clear on my purpose and what I want to do. And this course has given me back my life. I do so much stuff I never did before, stuff I'd forgotten that I enjoyed doing. And the change in like other people, their view of me has changed completely. I'm just a different person now, totally different. And that you can't put a price on that.
Thanks, John. And you both of you, I know, have worked incredibly hard on yourself, because I'll talk a bit more in a moment about what the program has in it and what the Limitless site has on it. But and the reality that you still got to do the work. got to give it energy. You got to be all into it. And when we're all in, that for you, John, I just love that bit. It feels as though you are so back in your driving seat of life again, and you know where due north is. Burnt the maps, know where due north is. And I think it's so easy, and I see it day in, day out with corporates and with smaller businesses and with kind of entrepreneurs that have just completely lost sight of that and are randomly driving around, desperately trying to follow last year's map, not even in the driving seat, in the back seat, and attempting to give someone else instructions. And it's exhausting and creates a massive, not just illness in this system, but illness within the business. It's really hard to function like that. So kind of so proud of you kind of for breaking through that piece. And here you are now. So look, thanks both. Stay on with us. Please stay on with us. I mean, for those of you that completed Excuses Blowout earlier in the year, you will already have been offered the Limitless program, so you've had access to that. So today we're opening it up purely to the BTFI group and purely to my tribe. So what we're doing is we're giving a month free, so you get 1 month totally free. You can use the promo code VIP Action. We'll pop it in the comments below, and we'll also pop the link for BTFI Limitless that you can go over to and get yourself signed up. So 1 month free. Look, we're not doing any kind of cart closing shenanigans. It's not like you've got 3 seconds to buy it and then the world stops. We're not doing any of that, because we're not doing a big whoop-de-doo launch. We feel as though we've got it in the place where this now really delivers and really works. So we're ready to start talking about it to a bigger audience, but there's no cart closing stuff. Okay, this is it. The program exists. It's ready for you. So you've got 1 month free. You can sign up. After that, it's £49 a month subscription. There's no tie-in. You're not locked in. It's just pay your £49 a month. That's it. If you've had enough, if it stops working for you, then you have the choice to go and not be a part of Limitless anymore. So it feels right that I tell you what's in it, what you get for joining Limitless, what you get for your £49 a month. The 90-day program, the Limitless program, is a part of it. That's a part of it. And I know we've heard a lot from John and Beth about the course, about the program. So when you join, you immediately, the moment you join, you start the 90-day program. The 90-day program has in it, it's kind of overflowing with stuff. You get weekly videos, you get worksheets to go through, you get a series of hypnotherapy downloads. working on both your conscious and your unconscious mind. So there's work to do in there. There's application, there's new models, there's new thinking, and most importantly, there's stuff there to keep you moving forward. So plus, alongside that, we built the Limitless platform, and in the platform, you get there's monthly videos with interviews with thought leaders, change makers, people that are shaking up. I'm still on the hunt every day to go, who's doing this thing differently? Who do we need to get into the tribe so that people can have an opportunity to model someone and understand how others are doing it? So you get those monthly. You get bite-sized weekly jolts. These are quick, fast, backside kickers, tough love moments to get you thinking, to keep you in action mode, to keep your senses up and to keep your awareness open. There are deep dive webinars, because we know that you need to also still continue learning, continue developing yourself, new pieces, being better at the skills and the capabilities that you already have, but also building on new ones. So every month we bring an expert in, we do a deep dive webinar, new learning, new models, getting into the nitty-gritty of stuff. There's ongoing training, so we're forever putting new things into the group. We're putting worksheets in, we're putting ideas in, we're putting thoughts in. When stuff comes on our radar and we go, that's brilliant for the Limitless tribe, then that also gets popped into the group. There's weekly live Q&A sessions. They are live with real people, real me at the end of it. We do those for an hour. It's like having 24/7 coach. You gain that access. So it's live question time, built around the whole idea of it's not a guru status. This is not Richard Tyler world. This is about a group of people that are brilliant at their stuff and are open to sharing that brilliance. So it's about that whole tribal piece. Within the platform, you can promote what it is you do and ask for what you need. So again, no boundaries on this is my space as the coach. If you're in there and there's a brilliant coach you come across, or there's a brilliant mentor you come across, or you want to promote what it is you do and build your business within there, then you do that too. You connect with those people, and that platform works in that way to create that community, that it doesn't have to be governed and run by me. So it's a place for you to ask for what you want and promote what it is you do. You get access to the private Facebook group, so it's another opportunity for you to connect with people, to have that daily ongoing conversation. Remember, this is back to keeping you in action mode. And then we run weekly accountability sessions. You hear me talk a lot about the need for accountability, that need for you setting your intentions. So we do Monday setting intentions. This is what I'm going to deliver for the week. You've got a whole tribe of people that are also posting their stuff and kind of high-fiving it. On Friday, we're going, have you done it? Have you delivered on that? If not, how come? What needs to be different for next week? Which is, again, back to keeping you in action mode. So what I believe we've got with Limitless are all those pieces that have been missing previously or have been standalone. We're giving the knowledge, we're giving the new knowledge. We're making that step change from not just tinkering around with conscious mind, but getting people to do the inner work, to go deep, to really unlock, to uncover, to make transformation that is sustainable, not just quick fix bullshit stuff where I then need to sell you another program. I don't want that. We don't need to do that in the package. And we've got the tribal support piece, that holding you accountable, keeping you on track, being there as your cheerleaders, as your supporters, and also being there to wallop your backsides when you need that, because we all need that extra bit of challenge in the system. So there you have it. You can join right now if you want to. It's free for the first month. After that, it's £49 a month. You can come in and join, have a tinker around, fiddle about with stuff, get into the course, and on you go. Checkout page is going to be in the link below, so go and find it. You've got the access code VIP action. Thanks, John. You've got the code. Check it out. John, Beth, thank you so much also for giving your time and energy to testing the program, but actually for being very honest in your feedback and very regular in your feedback. And we needed that. We wanted to build this the best thing we could. And as ever, it will continue to be tweaked and adapted and evolved, as we know we have to in this day and age. But the two of you are complete, just total gold dust. So I'm very grateful for everything that you have given to us and continue to give to us.
No, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure to be involved, and it'd be great to still be part of the tribe now as everyone joins us. So please do come and join us.
You're part of the tribe, folks. You two are there forever. You are not going anywhere. Okay, folks, thanks for joining today. You've got all the links, you've got the code. We'll see you over there. If you've got any questions, post them in. I'll pick up questions. I'll get back to you. John and Beth, have great weekends. Everyone else, have great weekends. I'll see you Monday at 8 o'clock, beaming live to you from part of international travel on the Isle of Wight. So who knows? Anything could happen on the Isle of Wight. It's completely rock and roll, although the festival will have finished. So Monday, 8 o'clock. See you then. Brilliant weekends. Big love to you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.